They say every monster can be slain, but some creatures do not understand the meaning of death. Imagine facing a beast whose wounds only make it stronger. Cut off one head, and two more rise screaming from the stump. Its blood is poison. Its breath is rot. And its shadow stretches across the world like a living curse. In the forgotten swamps of ancient myth, there was a creature that warriors feared more than armies, and kings feared more than rebellion. Not because it could kill, but because it could never truly be killed. Tonight, we descend into one of the darkest legends ever whispered by the ancient world. This is the story of the Hydra, the beast that could never truly die. Long before heroes carved their names into stone, the Hydra was born from nightmares. It was said to be the offspring of two ancient terrors: Typhon, the storm-born titan who challenged the gods themselves, and Echidna, the mother of monsters, whose womb birthed serpents and demons alike. From this union came a creature not meant for the living world. The Hydra was shaped like a colossal serpent, its body thick as ancient trees, its scales slick with black-green venom. From its massive shoulders rose many heads, some said 7, others 9, and in darker tales, countless more. Each head had its own mind. Each mouth whispered hunger. Each set of eyes glowed with a cold, immortal patience. One head was different from the rest. The central head could not be killed. It did not bleed. It did not rot. It was eternal. The Hydra made its home in the swamps of Lerna, a poisoned wetland where the earth itself seemed sick. Animals fled. Trees twisted into skeletal shapes. The waters turned dark and still. Where the Hydra slithered, life decayed. Villages near Lerna began to disappear. Livestock were found dissolved into bone. Men who ventured too close returned coughing blood, if they returned at all. Soon, the Hydra became more than a monster. It became a warning, a living boundary between the human world and something far worse. The Hydra's most terrifying power was not its jaws, but its wound. When attacked, its flesh behaved unnaturally. If a head was severed, the neck did not bleed. Instead, the flesh pulsed and twisted, and from the stump, 2 new heads grew, larger and more furious than before. Each strike against it became a mistake. Each wound became multiplication. Warriors learned this too late. Spears shattered on its hide. Swords only fed its growth. Fire barely slowed it. The Hydra was not just hard to kill. It was designed to survive. Even its blood was weaponized. One drop on the ground killed grass. One splash on skin burned like acid. Weapons dipped into it became instruments of slow death. The Hydra did not hunt like a beast. It waited. It let humans come to it, driven by fear or glory. It let them believe they could win. And when they fell, their bones sank into the swamp, joining thousands before them. Over time, stories of the Hydra spread beyond Lerna. It became a symbol of endless struggle, of problems that grew worse when attacked without thought, of evil that adapts. And then came the hero. Heracles, greatest of mortal heroes, was given a punishment disguised as a quest. His second labor was simple in words, but impossible in truth. Slay the Hydra of Lerna. He approached the swamp with his nephew Iolaus beside him. The air was thick, the ground sucked at their feet, and from the mist came a sound like many snakes breathing at once. The Hydra rose from the water like a living hill of flesh and fangs. Heracles attacked without fear. His blade flashed. One head fell. Then two more rose screaming from the wound. Again he struck. Again the monster multiplied. Soon the Hydra towered larger than before, its head striking from every direction. Its venom burned Heracles' skin. Its breath clouded his vision. The swamp trembled beneath its coils. The hero realized brute strength would not win this battle. So he changed the rules. Iolaus lit torches from a nearby fire. Each time Heracles severed a head, Iolaus cauterized the stump with flame. The flesh could no longer grow. One by one, the mortal heads died. Finally, only the immortal head remained. It could not be burned. It could not be cut. So Heracles crushed it beneath a massive rock, burying it forever beneath the earth. The Hydra's body collapsed. The swamp fell silent. Victory, or so it seemed. Though its body was destroyed, the Hydra was not finished. Heracles dipped his arrows into its blood. Those arrows would later kill monsters, giants, and men. But poison does not care who wields it. Years later, one of those arrows struck Heracles himself. The Hydra's venom burned into his flesh. It did not kill him quickly. It tortured him. The hero who slew the Hydra would die from it in the end. And so the monster claimed its slayer, not by teeth, but by legacy. The Hydra did not need to breathe to kill. It only needed to be remembered. The Hydra is more than a creature of scales and venom. It is a myth shaped like a warning. It teaches that some problems grow when attacked carelessly, that violence can multiply danger, that destruction without wisdom feeds the very thing it seeks to end. The Hydra is war that breeds more war, hatred that breeds hatred, fear that breeds monsters. It is the image of disease that mutates, of corruption that spreads when exposed, of power that survives through division. And at its core lies the immortal head, the part of evil that cannot be destroyed, only buried. But buried things do not always stay buried. In later legends, the Hydra does not fully die. Some say its immortal head still dreams beneath the stone. Some say its spirit drifts through cursed places. Some say every Hydra slain gives birth to another elsewhere. It becomes a pattern where despair gathers, where violence grows faster than peace, where solutions create new disasters. There, the Hydra rises again, not as a beast, but as an idea, an enemy that thrives on struggle, an evil that multiplies when struck without thought. And perhaps that is why the Hydra remains one of the most terrifying monsters ever imagined. Because it does not belong only to myth, it belongs to human history. The Hydra was not the strongest monster. It was not the fastest. It did not rule the sky or the sea. Yet it was nearly unstoppable. Not because it could not be harmed, but because harm made it stronger. And that is the darkest lesson of its legend. Some evils are not meant to be hacked apart. Some threats cannot be defeated with rage. Some monsters survive by feeding on the fight itself. The Hydra did not fear swords. It feared fire and patience. It feared strategy. It feared understanding, and perhaps that is why it still haunts our stories. Because somewhere between the swamp of myth and the world we live in, the Hydra never truly died. It simply changed shape, waiting for the next battle fought without wisdom, for the next wound that grows into two, for the next hero who believes brute strength is enough. And when that moment comes, the many-headed shadow rises again, silent, poisoned, endless. This has been a tale from Legends from the Dark Myth. And this was the story of the Hydra, the beast that could never truly die.